So what if I told you that it's been several months since I traded my all-time favorite watch for this, an Apple Watch Series 8. And I'm not sure that I actually have any regrets. I know, you'd say that's crazy, but hear me out. What's up everybody, I'm Guy and you're watching JustBlueFish Watch Reviews, and today we're going to talk about why I've been picking an Apple Watch over my Rolex almost exclusively for the past few months. And we're going to talk about whether there's really even a point to owning anything other than a smartwatch in 2023 and beyond. So an eagle-eyed viewer commented on one of my recent videos that I was wearing this, an Apple Watch, and they replied that it was a little weird for someone like me, a traditional watch guy, and a mechanical watch enthusiast, to be wearing a smartwatch instead of something like a Hamilton, or a Seiko, or my Rolex Submariner. Well, what's up with that? Did I trade my Rolex for an Apple Watch? No. Not exactly. I mean, the Submariner costs over $10,000 brand new, and on the secondary market, they're even more expensive. In fact, they peaked in early 22, and they have since come down, but they're still selling for over $13,000. And of course, a new Apple Watch costs under $300, so making that trade would be absolutely foolish. But as far as wrist time goes, the Apple Watch has been finding itself on the wrist a lot since I picked it up back in early November. So do I like the Apple Watch better than this, my Rolex Submariner, or any other traditional watch for that matter? And I have to say that, yeah, in a lot of ways, kind of, I do. But before getting into that, why did I decide to get a Series 8 Apple Watch a few months ago in the first place? Well, what it really boils down to is this. I wanted to try to improve my life, and I have been having physical health problems and mental health issues. And as you can imagine, it does all take its toll. So I decided, yeah, it was time to make some changes. Now, those changes, they included things like fixing my sleep schedule, quitting smoking, being more active, and just getting myself back on track in terms of my life. Well, at least that was all the goal, and it is still a work in progress, but I realized something as I was planning this out, at least in my mind. What I thought was that maybe the Apple Watch could help me in a lot of ways. And believe it or not, this device has actually helped motivate me to work towards some of those goals. Now, step one was quitting smoking, and granted, I quit smoking cigarettes years ago, but I was still smoking cigars almost on a daily basis. And while the Apple Watch didn't help me quit smoking directly, what I found was that I could justify the purchase of an Apple Watch because of all the money that I was saving when I did quit smoking. I was probably spending upwards of $2,000 a year on cigars. Now, step two was fixing my sleep schedule, and actually, the watch has really helped a lot with that. It has sleep tracking features and it has alarms, and I gotta say that for the first time in my life, I'm really getting good, consistent, and regular sleep, and it's been really nice. Step three, the dreaded losing weight, eating better, and exercise. Well, I am still working on that. I definitely could exercise more, but I'm down to 160 pounds for the first time in the better part of 25 years, and that's from my all-time high of 220 pounds. The Apple Watch has fitness functionality, and it has apps, and it has helped me at least start working towards that goal as well. Now, as far as my mental health is concerned, I suffer from problems like depression and anxiety, like I'm sure a lot of you guys do. And when my anxiety is really getting the best of me, starting to go nuts, my pulse can just shoot up into that aerobic heart rate zone, and it's kind of uncomfortable. And when there isn't a reason for it to be happening, it gives me even more anxiety. Well, with features like the elevated heart rate alarms and the ECG sensor, this watch actually helps me realize when I'm starting to get stressed out, and it gives me that extra moment to try to take some time and to try to calm down, which actually helps me out quite a bit. So yeah, all of that paired up with the health app on my iPhone, where I record periodic blood pressure checks and my blood sugar tests, and I track my weight fluctuations on a semi-regular basis, it's all started to get me going down that track that I hope will lead to more energy, less pain and anxiety, and overall just a better quality of life. Now, the question is there any reason to own anything other than a smartwatch at this point? I asked that question early on, and I have to say that, yes, of course there is. Watches, like anything in life, can be fun and they can bring a person enjoyment, they can bring entertainment, and a sense of individuality, or accomplishment for that matter, any number of emotions. And if owning and wearing a watch helps with any of those things, it is always worth having one in your life. Take my Rolex Submariner, for example. I absolutely do love this watch. For me, it represents a period of my life where I built up this YouTube channel. It symbolizes my journey through the watch hobby and the hard work that I put in and all the effort I spent on making videos and learning about watches. And while yes, a smartwatch could represent those things, eventually smartwatches go in the trash. The battery won't last forever. The software won't always be compatible with newer technology. They are made to be disposable. It's one of the biggest problems with a watch like an Apple Watch. Now, traditional watches, be it Seikos or Omegas, Rolexes or Hamilton watches, I have to say that they represent the best of human design and engineering, and they can be serviced, they can be maintained, and they can be preserved. They're made to last forever. And that's if it's looked after and taken care of course. But it can be an heirloom that's been passed down from generation to generation, something that I really appreciate about traditional mechanical watches. Traditional mechanical and automatic watches, they're awesome in their own right, and they can't be replaced by smart devices, in my opinion. Something like the Apple Watch is awesome too, don't get me wrong, and I absolutely love mine. I'm super happy that I've had it for the last 6-7 months. But it doesn't have to be an either-or type of discussion when we're talking about smartwatches or traditional watches. As a watch collector and an enthusiast, you can have both. That's allowed. It's okay. It doesn't need to be a polarizing debate about which is better. Neither is better. They serve two totally different purposes. But I would like to close with this. If you own watches, traditional mechanical or automatic watches, even quartz watches, and maybe you have a whole bunch of them, give some thought to buying an Apple Watch or any smartwatch if you hate the Apple brand. I know a lot of people do. At least in my anecdotal experience, while I may enjoy traditional and mechanical watches a whole heck of a lot, an Apple Watch has helped me improve my quality of life in a lot more ways than any other watch that I have ever owned.